the 20 and the toss to Jackson.
Some running backs are fast, some are powerful, but Steven Jackson, he was both. A nightmare in cleats at 6'2", 240 pounds. He ran like a freight train.
I ran with a vigor that was not friendly on Sunday.
But with 4.4 speed, he could outrun the very defenders he just bulldozed. Yet, no Super Bowl ring, no gold jacket. The Hall of Fame continues to overlook one of the most dominant rushers of his era. Today, we will unravel the story of Steven Jackson, the NFL's most feared running back that history simply refuses to remember. Chapter 1, made for this.
Everybody don't have that. I just thank God for it.
Steven Jackson started his career at El Dorado High School in Las Vegas. Even in high school, he would tower over his competition. Having excelled as a good student,
I have a 3.8 and I want to continue to hold in, graduate with honors.
And great athlete, Jackson was regarded as the best player in the state. Rushing for over 2,000 yards as a senior, Jackson had many D1 colleges knocking at the door to bring him to their program.
If there's any question that he's the premier back and best player in the state of Nevada.
A little known school in Oregon got the chance to witness Steven's incredible talents. Jackson committed to headline the backfield at Oregon State. NFL scouts first noticed Jackson after he rushed for 1,690 yards and 17 touchdowns in 13 games as a sophomore at OSU.
Phenomenal attitude. I'll tell you, when you look at a complete back, that's Steven Jackson.
He followed it up with 1,549 rushing yards and 22 touchdowns as a junior. Then he decided it's time to cash in and go ahead and declare for the NFL draft.
One thing that always stands out when I watch tape on a running back, are you nasty? I mean, are you going to make somebody pay every time you run the football? Steven Jackson will do that.
Throughout his career, Jackson dealt with many injuries, one of them being a knee injury after his junior season. He ended up having surgery to repair the discomfort he was dealing with. The injury forced him to miss participating in the 2004 Combine, but he put on a show at his pro day and dazzled scouts with his speed, posting a 4.45 40-yard dash. Chapter 2, roll of the dice. The Rams were coming off the glory days of the greatest show on turf. Franchise player Marshall Faulk was turning 31 and his bad knees was not going to cooperate for another run with the team. Jackson was considered a franchise every down running back and a top player from the 04 draft class. After being passed up for most of the first round, the Super Bowl champion New England Patriots opted not to take a chance.
New England Patriots select Vince Wilfork.
And even him and his dad's favorite team, the Dallas Cowboys, they went elsewhere for their first round pick.
But right here, it has to be Steven Jackson.
Which hire is their grade on Steven Jackson over Kevin Jones of Virginia Tech?
Trade.
We do have a trade.
Jackson was only waiting to be placed in the right situation. Well, sort of. With the 24th pick in the 2004 NFL Draft.
Acquired from the Bengals, the St. Louis Rams select
Steven Jackson, running back, Oregon State. The Rams believed they could do something special with Jackson, trading up with the Cincinnati Bengals to get the talented back. The Rams were preparing to pass the torch to Jackson in hopes that he could shoulder the load. His rookie season proved that was not going to be an issue for Jackson.
I'm more than happy to go to St. Louis, spend some time with Marshall Faulk, and being a mentor towards me. I think I'm going to tear the league apart now.
In 04, he made an immediate impact on the field, rushing for 673 yards and 4 touchdowns as Faulk's backup. The Rams earned a spot in the playoffs that season, defeating the Seattle Seahawks in the wildcard round. Even though Jackson only had 36 yards and didn't score in the game, he opened the franchise's eyes to the cold hard fact it's time to make Jackson the lead back on and off the field. Chapter 3, running wild. When Jackson put his mind to it, there was no one or nothing that could stop him.
Just keep giving it to Steven Jackson.
Which led him to put up an historic stretch. Steven Jackson would start getting loose, dominating the NFL's best defenses and most physical players of the era. Whether it was using his agility, speed, or that nasty stiff arm.
That stiff arm is what you really had to watch out for. And it happened to me a couple times.
Jackson became a household name in bruising fashion.
That dude is a beast. He one of my favorites, man. He can do it all, man.
From 05 to 2012, he posted 8 consecutive 1,000-yard rushing seasons, highlighted by winning the NFC rushing title in 2009. Perhaps coincidentally, one of the best games in his career was against the Dallas Cowboys, where he notched 25 carries, a $160 on the ground, and 3 touchdowns in a 34-14 win in a Week 7 beatdown of the 08 season, Jackson's crazy work season, amassing 2,334 yards from scrimmage with 808 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns.
It could have been 11 Hall of Famers on every defense. There was no stopping me.
He's one of the first players to have over 1,000 rushing yards and 750 receiving yards. In that season, he had 1,500 rushing yards and 13 tubs. He played in all 16 games, earned second team All-Pro and Pro Bowl honors. That string of success paved the way for Jackson to become the Rams' all-time leading rusher with 10,138 yards in 131 games. And he tied Rams legend Eric Dickerson for second in the franchise's career rushing touchdown list with 56. Despite tearing up the league, injuries and barely eclipsing 1,000 yards in some of those seasons are knocks on Jackson's resume. But let's examine the context. His quarterbacks were Mark Bolger and Sam Bradford. I shouldn't have to say more, but Jackson had to be the focal point of the offense to be able to protect these mid quarterbacks. He became everything for the Rams, especially after playing under 6 different head coaches during his 9-year career with the team. Chapter 4, Finish. Nearly a decade of carrying the load for the Rams, the organization moved on from their franchise player. Jackson signed a 3-year deal to join the Atlanta Falcons. Following 2 okay seasons with the Falcons, he was released. Jackson, still with no playoff success and a dip in production, only totaling 1,250 rushing yards, 12 touchdowns, and 1 receiving tub over 2 seasons. And with Jackson now in his 30s, he would be watching the league he once dominated pass him by. Steven Jackson signed on to the Patriots for the 2015 season as a short yardage / goal line back. He only played in 2 regular season games and 1 playoff game. On July 22, 2015, Jackson retired from the NFL, and in 2019, he signed a 1-day contract to finish his career as an LA Ram. Jackson does have the numbers. He's a 2-time second team All-Pro, a 3-time Pro Bowler, 18th all-time in rushing yards with 11,438 yards. Of course, the Rams' all-time leading rusher, and he was the pillar for a bad franchise that didn't have much after the greatest show on turf. People could not only relate to Jackson personally,
I feel that blue-collar worker, that person that's watching the game, had identified that.
but they could also empathize with him, seeing a star player that had the talent but wasted by a dysfunctional organization. Now, the moral of this story is, while Steven Jackson may be overlooked and could be a Hall of Fame player off the numbers alone, the harsh truth is who you play for and when you play for them matters more than how good you actually are. That's the reality of Jackson's career. It was a great run for fans of the game and a golden era for running backs. We may not see Steven Jackson get his invite to Canton, but he has enshrined himself into Rams and NFL history forever.
Even under bad teams, he's been a player that sticks out every year.
I'll talk to y'all in the next one, fam. Peace.
I think the first thing you see is number 39 running the football, and you're trying to figure out, how am I going to tackle that guy?